Alright, hey guys, it is Friday, April 24th. So the last lesson of the week for you guys. I hope y'all been doing it. If you have any questions, again, just get up with me as you're working it and we'll work it through. So this lesson is going to be on division, and so it's going to basically work exactly the same way. The only exception is when we divide by, you can't just divide, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. And so we're basically going to take all these division problems and then make a multiplication by flipping the fraction. But the rule still stays the same. We're basically going to factor everything and see what cancels. Now, the only thing that you got to keep in mind with these is at any point in the problem, you have to keep up with at any point in the problem, if it gives you a 0 in the denominator, you can't use that. So at any point, whether you start it, where we start with it, whether it's just, as we're working it through, or whether it's at in our actual answer, wherever there's an x that could equal 0, you have to keep in mind with that and pull those out. And so the first two here, 2 and 7, just deal with us making a reciprocal. So remember, a reciprocal just flips the fraction. And so for number 2, if they want that reciprocal, 2 over a becomes b over 2a. So that would be the reciprocal. Number 7, 3 minus x divided by y plus 2. The reciprocal would be y plus 2 divided by 3 minus x. And so those two are just reciprocal problems. Now we're going to move into the bulk of the lesson, which I'll do number 10 here. So number 10 says x squared divided by 9, x squared divided by 9 divided by x divided by 3. And so we have to multiply by the reciprocal. And so I'm going to rewrite this as x squared over 9 times 3 over x. So I just do the reciprocal. So it's x over 3, so we're not dividing, so when I multiply, the x goes to the bottom, the 3 comes to the top. And so now I can just factor these. They're already factored. So then I'm going to do to see what cancels. Well, I have 2 x's here, and I have 1 here, so that cancels and just leaves me 1x. I have a 9 and a 3, and that's going to cancel and leave me with a 3 divided by 3 leaves me just with a 1. 9 divided by 3 leaves me with a 3. And so it would be x over 3 as my answer. So that is number 10. Now I have to figure out where the x is 0. Where anywhere in this problem that I have an x that would be a 0 at the bottom. And so notice right here, this one right there, if I would have set, you have to set that equal to 0, even though it canceled, you still have to set it equal to 0 because that was still in the problem. And our rule is anywhere in the problem. And so you would have to say that x cannot be 0 in this. But that would be your answer. X divided by 3, but x cannot be 0 because right there we got x equals 0. And so in the denominator. So that would be number 10. Number 14, same process. Now, I always flip the fraction first and then start factoring. You can technically factor it. You can factor it straight off the bat. So I could go ahead and start factoring all this to begin with. We're going to do it anyway. But just to make sure I do flip the fraction, because that's the key part with the division, I go ahead and do that first. That way I get it out of the way and I'm okay, I've done it and I'm good. And so I'm just going to go ahead and flip this fraction. That way that's the multiplying by the reciprocal part. That way I'm good. And so I'm just going to rewrite as x squared plus 4x plus 3 divided by x squared minus 25, and then multiply by, flip that fraction, so the 2x plus 2 comes up top, and then the x squared plus 6x plus 5 goes on bottom. Now I can go ahead and start factoring everything I see, and so I'll do this top left first. So factoring that, guess and check, you would do the factors of 3, which are 3 and 1. Factors of x are x and x squared or x and x. That means this would go to x, that's the plus sign. That tells me they're the same. So it would be x plus 1, x plus 3. Again, I'm going to go fast on the factoring. We've covered this in 3 or 4 chapters. I don't have the time to waste on basic factoring. If you get left behind, I've tried to warn you, but that's what it is. I can't go really slow on that type of stuff, and we've covered it so much. And so x plus 1, x plus 3. Then I'm going to do the bottom here, x squared minus 25. Again, that you can do guess and check with. I'm just going to do the square root method. So the square root method is x squared minus 25 equals 0. Add 25 to both sides. And so x squared equals 25. Square root both. And so x would equal plus or minus 5, which means my factored form would be x minus 5, x plus 5. So that's this factor. Okay, again, if nothing cancels here, we can always go back to that original form. This other side, I have 2x plus 2. So what do the 2x and the 2 have in common? They have a 2 in common, so I can pull out a 2. And then that'll leave me with an x plus 1. 2 will go into 2x. Leave it just the x. 2 divided by 2 is just the 1. Divided by, here, do guess and check on this one. So that's 5 and 1. Here is x and x. And so when I set these up, it's a plus sign. So that tells me that the signs are going to be the same. I'm trying to get to a positive 6. So it'll be x plus 5, x plus 1. Okay, so that has it all factored. Now I can just look at it and say, okay, what cancels? Well, looking at it, I have an x plus 1 here. So I can cancel that with this x plus 1. I have an x plus 1, x plus 3 doesn't cancel. X plus 1. I don't see anything else that cancels. And so 14, basically you just have to throw it together at that point. So I have x plus 3 times 2x plus 1. So the 2 can come here. So that's just writing down what was left. Down here I have x minus 5, x plus 5. So I have an x minus 5, 1x minus 5. Then I have 2x plus 5. So I'll just write x plus 5 squared since I have it twice. And so there would be that in simplest form. That's as far as I can get it. So then you just have to keep in mind, okay, where can x not equal 0 here? It would be right here, or I canceled that. So x plus 1, so we would say that x did not equal negative 1. So it's a lot of work, but all of this we've already done. It's all review. That's all factoring, which we've done for 3 or 4 chapters, starting like at the beginning of school. And so you got to be able to do that. If you don't know how to do it, we can go back through it, but I can't take the time right now to go back through it. So you're going to have to get back with me on that. And so that's what you have. Okay, 21, because we're assuming at this point we know how to factor. So I know y'all are going to freak out over it, but that's what it is. I mean, I can't spend all day covering the factoring. So again, if you need to get with me to help, get with me to help, and I can kind of walk you through it. But the factoring you got to be good on. And so 21, we have x squared plus 5x plus 6 divided by 2x plus 6 divided by x squared plus 2x plus this. I'm going to go to erase some of this, that way I can work a little bit cleaner. And so for this one, what we're going to do is we're just going to flip the fraction. And so I'm just going to rewrite it real quick. So I'm going to rewrite x squared plus 5x plus 6 over 2x plus 6. Flip the fraction over here times 4x plus 20 over x squared plus 2x plus 10. And so once you have it multiplied by reciprocal, so we put this up top and then this on bottom. Now it's a multiplication, we just work it through. So I'm going to factor this one, guess and check. So factors of 6, 6 and 1, 3 and 2, factors of x, x and x. I'm trying to get to a positive 5, and so that would be x plus sign tells me they're the same. So I would do x plus 3, x plus 2. check that, you would do 2x, 3x, I think in the middle 5x. And then divided by, do the bottom, 2x plus 6, what they have in common, they both have a 2 in common, so I can factor out the 2. 2 divided by 2 just leaves me the x, 6 divided by 2 leaves me the 3, so it would be x plus 3. Now on this other side, 4x plus 20, what do they have in common? They have a 4 in common, so factor out the 4. 4x divided by 4 just leaves you an x. 20 divided by 4 leaves you a 5. Alright, then the denominator here, guess and check. So the factors of 10 are 10 and 1, 2 and 5. And factors of x are x and x. Now I'm trying to get to a positive 2x using, did I write that right? Number 1. Yes, it's 7. I'm trying to get to a 7x, and so 2 and 5 would work, so I would do x plus 2, x plus 5, so that's factored. And so now I'm going to see what cancels. So I'm going to look at it, okay, have an x plus 3, that cancels. Have an x plus 2 here, that cancels. An x plus 5 cancels. 4 to 2, so that'll cancel with the 4, just leave me a 2. So then pretty much for 21, everything canceled except for this 2. So 4 divided by 2 left over the 2. So everything else canceled. So that would leave me, my answer would just be 2. So it all canceled except for the 2. Now you just have to keep in mind, where can x not equal 0? So where can x not equal 0? X cannot equal 0 at a x plus 3. So 21, x cannot equal 0 at an x plus 3. And so that would mean x could not equal negative 3. X could not equal 0 at an x plus 2, which means x could not equal negative 2. And then x could not equal x plus 5, which means x could not equal a negative 5. So you just set each of these equal to 0 and solve. And so x could not equal negative 3, negative 2, or negative 5. And it's simplified all the way down to 2. And so that's basically how you do them. I'm not going to spend any more time going through the questions right here. Again, if you have any questions for me, get with me, and I'll walk you through some of them as we go through it together. But that's pretty much all you do. You flip the fraction, multiply, which means you just factor it all, everything, and see what cancels, and then keep in mind with where your x cannot equal 0 in the denominator. So that gets us through this week. Hope you all have a good weekend. Again, as you're working through this stuff, I'm here, I'm available. I'll do anything I can for you, but you have to take the initiative and get up with me for what you need done. And so, hope you all have a good day.